Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee, and welcome to the New Card Report. Yes, I still lack a haircut, but that doesn't change the fact that this week has seen a lot of new cards from the Infinite Forbidden. So to shake things up, Konami has also taken the time to show us the upcoming Light Duelist pack, including the cover art for the pack showing, I think, Tachyon Dragon or maybe a variant, and revealing 6 new cards for the Trickstar archetype. It's not known which archetype will be the third for the Duelists of Brilliance, or as I'm sure the TCG will call it, Duelist Pack Blinded by the Light, revved up like a douche, another runner in the night. Still, following gimmick puppets and a hand trap safe FTK, what's the worst that can come from giving another burn deck a little more support? Let's find out. Up first is Trickstar Hoodie, a level 2 light fairy, which has me wondering if I had only imagined a flower theming for this deck, or if I'm simply an idiot. Fun fact, those two things are not mutually exclusive. This can be special summoned from your hand if you control a Link or Fusion Trickstar monster, and if it is sent to the grave for the Link summon of a Trickstar Link monster, it can add a copy of either Trickstar Fusion or Trickstar Defusion from deck to hand. Ignoring the fact that her head is simply way too big for her body, you can consider this a kind of staple for Trickstar decks that want to go all in on Fusion summons. I personally had completely forgotten Trickstar even had Fusion monsters, but this helps them, I guess? Or it's just free Link fodder, which is fine enough for Trickstar as a deck, but I guess fans of the purple can still enjoy the variety. And no worries if you, like me, are thinking, what the hell was Trickstar Diffusion? And what did it do again? Because it's brand new, and I'll cover it in a moment. Trickstar Band Dramatis is a level 6 light fairy for the deck, and it's a fusion monster, which means Hoodie might be about to get a little bit better. This will need any 2 Trickstar monsters as fusion material, and on Fusion Summon can add any Trickstar card from your deck to your hand, just so long as it has a different name from the cards you control and the ones in your grave. Nice. Well, on field, your Trickstar Link monsters that point at this will all gain 1,000 attack, and if either player takes effect damage, you can target one monster on the field and change its attack to 0. This one does have a head size that is appropriate for its body, so we'll give it a pass on that front, and it can search any card you want from the deck, just so long as you haven't used it. That's solid. Let's not pretend most of Yu-Gi-Oh's game isn't the early game. There's not a whole hell of a lot of late game where you won't have something to search with this effect. The effects on field don't seem like they're anything too special. Buffing links that point to it is cute, and I guess weakening an opponent's monster can help go for a little bit more of an OTK. But besides that, I guess it's really just that it's level 6, because Beatrice is a card, and I'm certain, I already know someone will find a way to do something with that. It also adds a little more consistency, because I guess Candina and the field spell weren't enough, but yeah, it seems solid to me. Trickstar Colchica is a new Link 1 for the deck, needing any one non-Link Trickstar monster as material, with an arrow pointing, I think it was down, but I didn't see the actual card art, only the card art. I guess I didn't see the card. I only saw the art is what I'm trying to say, but who cares? It's a Link 1. It's a Trickstar Link 1. That's really all that is primally important. You can special summon only one of this per turn, and when a monster is destroyed in battle by a Trickstar monster while this is in your grave, you can banish this card to target one of the destroyed monsters, and then burn the opponent for damage equal to the attack that monster had on the field. Which I guess is notable, because if you have some beefed up monster with 5 equip spells and you bumped it up to 15,000 attack, and then somehow the Trickstar destroyed it in battle, because Honest is a card, I guess, you could immediately lose the duel, but at that point, you'd be killed not only in the game but also in real life after the cult of competitive duelists beat you to death with hammers for playing this game suboptimally. This effect doesn't seem like it's anything crazy. I think there's like one Link for Trickstar with 2,800 attack, and I guess there's a situation where that could beat over a 2,500, and then you take 300 from the difference in attack, and then 200 from a field spell properly, and then 25 from this effect. So maybe it'll help steal a game. But really all it does is be a Link 1, and that's all it needs to do, so you can get free extensions going, particularly with things like Hoodie, because really, that's all that's needed of it, and it doesn't need to have, like, it's arguably better to have an effect in the grave, because you're fucking eating it off the field anyways, aren't you? They've also got a new Link 2 to abuse, Trickstar Noble Angel. This needs any 2 Trickstar monsters to summon out, and on Link Summon can add 1 blue Tears card from deck to hand. They've got 1 new card that fits that restriction, and the other one was from like Maze of Memories, and it did some light burn damage and negated an effect and set a normal trap, which really just means more reincarnation on some level, so that's fucking cool. You can also target a fusion Trickstar monster in your graveyard and special summon it, and by that I mean you can special summon a monster from your graveyard if you have a fusion monster on your field or in your grave, and if either player takes effect damage, it can target and pop 1 face-up card on the field. It's a little bit of consistency, it's a little bit of extension, and it's a little bit of removal, all in 1 card. You can use the fusion lean for the deck. That's a little bit out of left field to me, but that's not a bad thing. Plus, if you're really kooky, you could also throw in, say, like a Dogmatica engine, and then drop a Garura to search Ecclesia, get the draw, and then this effect is summoned from the grave is live for the rest of the duel, since it just says fusion and not the Trickstar fusion. Like, if you want to be wacko, you can do that. Probably shouldn't, but you can. It's just a shame that these all look weird as fuck, because this is a pretty solid card for the deck. It's just, what's with the bug eyes? They've also got 2 new trap cards, the first of which is Trickstar Diffusion, our new and searchable normal trap. On activation, this card will let you do one of 2 things. Either fusion summon a Trickstar monster by banishing the materials for it from your graveyard, or link summon a Trickstar monster by using monsters on your field. So that's cool. It also has a grave effect to banish itself and target a Trickstar monster you control to make that the only monster the opponent is able to attack while you control it. The grave effect is a shitty version of that 1 trap card that I'll put on screen now, and that really can be ignored entirely, so who gives a shit about that? The actual effect you'd even consider playing this for is to fusion summon on the opponent's turn, or link summon. I don't know what Trickstar monster you're summoning on the opponent's turn from the extra deck that would have immediately impactful, like, meaning on the board on the opponent's turn, but especially when you compare it to, say, IP into SP or IP into Unicorn for the Brokies. That's me. It seems cool, but I don't think it's anything insane. That's the fucking takeaway. And last up is Maiden of Blue Tears. Another searchable normal trap. This one needs you to control a Link monster, and if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you can target one of them, pop it, and then burn the opponent for half of its original attack. It also has the grave effect to banish itself if either player takes effect damage, and you can target a normal spell card, and then, whether it's your grave or your banishment, set it onto your field, but you won't be able to activate it this turn. You know what that means, don't you? A means of disruption on the opponent's turn. Trickstar finally has something to do on the opponent's turn besides like roll reincarnation. I didn't care much for the deck back in the day, okay? I'm sorry. Okay? At the bare minimum, this is playable. It is meaningful interaction. The grave effect seems neat, but nothing insane or really all that important. It's just more sort of a bonus for playing the searchable disruption off your new and guaranteed to be summoned Link 2. All in all, it seems pretty fine. It's like support for a burn deck immediately following Gimmick Puppet getting an FTK that's near fully hand trap proof. Probably isn't doing this any favors, just because of the comparison. But hey, one thing being better doesn't make the other thing bad, it just simply means it's not as good. That's the optimistic take. The pessimistic take is that Trickstar got a level 6 fusion. That means it can use as fodder to summon out Beatrice, and we also just saw that new Fiendsmith, which is an easy way to make level 6s, and they don't have the Fiend lock, so you can use Beatrice, get transaction rollback in the graveyard, and have even more means to reincarnation the opponent, and maybe even reincarnation droll them, because that's just like the one play from Trickstar besides death by 1,000 paper cuts. I felt mildly confident saying that when I initially wrote the script, and then Lithium put out a video showing exactly that, which means I'm not entirely wrong. Granted, that's not guaranteed the way it's going to be played. I'm just saying I've now seen it in action, and it's like, yeah, we can do this. Which seems very fitting for Trickstar in terms of support as far as I'm concerned. There are some fine cards here, and the strategy you can play and do well with at some level, even if only at locals. It's just as was the case in 2018 when they debuted. There's still a better strategy that you could use instead that will win more often. Because at the end of the day, you're playing the weird bug-eyed women, and neither Konami nor God, whichever you choose to view as the higher power, has seen fit to make them particularly amazing. So, solid support. The deck's better off now, and I'm not complaining. It's perfectly fine. a thumbs up. I'm just saying, generic like Fiend Blink probably gonna have an easier time winning. That's my guess by the time we get these in the TCG. Just saying. And if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter because both you and I will have forgotten this video entirely by the time we get the support. On to the sponsor. So that's all I have for you today. Shoutouts as always go to the LIFD Magnetic Display for sponsoring the channel. The true Duelist way to show off your cards and the best way to support me financially, because I am a greedy, greedy boy. Promo code YGOStrats15. You can type it in at the checkout. You can click the link in the description of this video. However you want to go about it. If you want to save yourself 15% off the 3-set display I have here, or just the 1 set for your most favoritist card, however you choose to do it. Thank you to LIFD for the support as always, and of course thank you for watching. So that'll wrap it up for this new card report, just covering the Trickstars in this one. The regular out will be update on Friday. Perfect sentence. No one could possibly be confused by it. So that's it. Make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you impress that smoking Italian wife, and most of all, make sure you become a true duelist. And I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is.